Both our spouses have been diagnosed as having dementia, and my wife was in a care home, and Nula's husband also came to the same care home a little bit later, and they had rooms almost next to each other. And in fact, Nula knew my wife Bonnie, and I didn't even know she did. And inevitably, after a certain amount of time, we began to meet, we began to see each other. And then the care home organised a lunch for people whose spouses had dementia, as opposed to people whose parents or grandparents had it, because when your spouse gets it, it's altogether different. And at this lunch, Nula and I found ourselves talking to each other, and obviously we had very similar experiences. We shared so much, and then we emailed each other for quite a while after that. And then I suggested at dinner, and we just got to know each other a little bit better. And with someone with dementia, you cannot talk to them about what's happening to them. And so we both found that when we were together, we just never stopped talking and sharing the experiences. And we just became closer through dementia. It brought us closer together because of our shared experiences.
When they're diagnosed, you now know that there's no cure, nothing. So you try and give them lots of lovely things. So I wore myself out looking after him. Everything just went by the window, and he became my sole purpose in life. I dealt with it on my own for a couple of years until I started to fall apart, mentally and also physically, because James was 6'2". He had an aggressive form of dementia, and it was very hard to deal with. And then finally, with friends and people around us, they advised he should go into a care home. It really was very, very hard for me. And then when he did go into care, the guilt of handing him over was worse than ever. I mean, my GP gave me loads of antidepressants, and I remember lining them all up and saving them. And I thought, I'll take the whole lot one night, with a bottle of wine, and just put myself out of this into oblivion, because the pain of handing him over and the loss, the fact that he wasn't there anymore was horrendous. In a way, having him there was a comfort in a strange way, because I could talk to him even if he didn't talk back to me, and I could put an arm around him, even though he would actually shove me away, because he was really quite far gone by the time I put him into care. And I couldn't invite anyone home or anything, so in a way he became my world. And when I handed that over, it was a really dark place. I couldn't wait to go to the care home, and I'd look for him in the corridors and wherever, and I'd find him, and then leaving him, I always ended up in tears. I always cried on the way back, on the train, in the car, wherever. However, where I got there, I would just end up crying the whole way. It was just awful.
But in a funny kind of way, getting the diagnosis, horrific though it is something of a relief, because at last you've got a reason for the things that you've been noticing for years. And when it's your spouse, you're living with them 24 hours a day, unlike a parent or a grandparent, and you cover up when they make a slip up, or they can't remember where they've put something, or they go out shopping and come back with 12 of the same things. You make allowances for it. You step in, Dad, what you go and do that for? Then when you get the diagnosis, it all drops into place, and you think, oh my God, horrific and horrendous though it is, at least you can give it a name, and that's quite a relief.